This is the story of a king whose life takes several unwanted turns. There are rumors of an illicit relationship between his wife and son, and both of them are plotting a rebellion against the king. However, the entire sequence of events concludes in a dangerous and unexpected way. At the beginning of the movie, we see King Ping of China and his son, Prince Jie, returning to the palace. Grand preparations are underway to welcome them back after 3 years, as they are returning from war. Next, we are introduced to the queen, who is struggling with health problems. Her younger son, Prince Juvi, comes to escort her inside the palace. Soon after, her elder son, Prince Jie, comes to meet her. However, the story takes a strange turn when the queen attempts to engage in a physical relationship with her older son. Prince Jie, horrified, restrains himself and says, "You are my mother, I can't do this." Angrily, the queen responds, "I am not your mother," and walks away. We are then introduced to Sia, the daughter of the royal physician, who gives the queen her medicine. Later, the queen goes to greet the king at the welcome ceremony, but the king refuses to attend. Meanwhile, the king engages Prince Jie in battle preparation, but easily defeats him, saying, "You will only get what I want to give you." After this, the king receives a relaxing massage, where the royal physician reveals that he has mixed a black fungus into the queen's medicine under the king's orders, which will soon deteriorate her mental condition. The physician tells his daughter, Sia, that this fungus can drive even a healthy person insane. It becomes clear that the king himself intends to make his wife lose her sanity. A few days later, the entire family gathers for a festival to offer prayers for the kingdom's protection. During this, the king forces the queen to take her medicine, but she refuses. Ultimately, the king prepares the medicine himself and forces her to drink it. The story takes a gripping turn when the queen suddenly appears at the ceremony. The king tells her, "You are low on blood," to which she replies, "I've been taking this medicine for the last 10 years, but it's having no effect on me." Despite her protest, the king forcefully makes her drink the medicine. Following this, the king expresses his intention to make Prince Jie the heir to the throne and asks Ben, presumably another character, "If you have any objections to this decision, you can tell me." However, Ben says nothing and leaves. Once outside the palace, Ben immediately goes to meet Sia, and it is revealed that the two are in love. As they share a romantic moment, the queen arrives and catches them together. The queen becomes furious, especially with Sia, and orders that she be punished by being trampled by 20 horses. However, Ben cleverly saves Sia. The queen, still angry, says, "I don't care about either of you, but there must be no trouble from now on." Later, the queen's spy informs her that black fungus is being added to her medicine, which can drive a healthy person mad. Meanwhile, we also see that the queen continuously makes a golden-colored flower. A new twist arises in the story when the spy is about to leave, and the king arrives with his army to capture her. When her face is uncovered, it is revealed that she is none other than the king's first wife. The king is shocked to see his first wife and says, "I thought you were dead." It is also revealed that the king's first wife had run away with the royal physician. However, the king himself is not innocent. He had killed the previous king and married his daughter to strengthen his rule. Another important twist comes when the king's first wife sits on the royal throne. She says, "I only came here to see my son Ben, and now I will leave." Afterward, the queen calls Prince Jie to her and reveals the truth about her medicine. She says, "I have unknowingly been drinking poison every day." Hearing this, Jie feels deeply hurt. The queen continues, "I have endured this for a long time, but now I have decided to fight. However, I cannot go against the king, so I will fight this battle alone." The next day, the queen calls Ben to her and gives him a suit, on which she has hand-embroidered a golden flower. However, Ben refuses to take the suit. The queen tries to force him and says, "You must wear this suit on the day of the festival." In anger, Ben attempts to tear the suit, but the queen somehow stops him. Meanwhile, an emotional closeness begins to develop between them, but Ben quickly composes himself and leaves. Outside, Juvi, who had been standing there, witnesses the entire scene. Later that night, Ben goes to meet the physician's daughter, Sia. Once again, they lose themselves in each other's love. However, the physician's wife suddenly arrives and, upon seeing them together, becomes furious. In fact, Ben and Sia are siblings by blood, which makes her even more enraged. She immediately orders Ben to leave, and he complies. She then tells Sia, "You will never meet Ben again." Sia, heartbroken, leaves. In the next scene, the physician's wife is sitting with the physician when the king's army attacks them. They attempt to escape on horseback, but along the way, the king's soldiers surround them, and the physician is killed. However, Ben's wife, or another character, somehow manages to escape. In the end, Ben goes to the queen and asks, "When are you planning to attack the king?" The queen replies, "On the day of the festival." Hearing this, Ben becomes furious and says, "I cannot bear to see my father die." As the story becomes increasingly entangled, Ben tries to stab himself with a knife, but the queen stops him and says, "We must do this for the greater good." Juvi, who witnesses this, is shocked. Afterward, the king approaches Ben and reveals, "I know everything about your relationship with Sia, but it's not your fault." Then, the day of the festival arrives. The king stands in the palace with all his sons, but despite the passage of time, the queen does not arrive. In reality, her health is rapidly deteriorating. Still, she puts a golden flower in her hair and arrives at the event. Meanwhile, we see Sia entering the palace, only to be attacked by the king's army. The queen tries to save her, but both of them are captured and brought before the king. Here, the physician's wife asks, "Why did you try to kill us?" In response, the king says, "Sia loved Ben, and for that, she must be punished." At that moment, the queen reveals that Sia and Ben are actually siblings. Sia is shocked upon hearing this and runs away, overwhelmed by the thought of their relationship. The queen tries to stop her, but the king's soldiers capture both of them and execute them. Afterward, the queen also makes her entrance and attacks the king. The turning point of the story comes when Juvi angrily shouts that he has discovered the illicit relationship between the queen and Ben, and that's why they killed Ben. He also expresses his desire to ascend the throne. A new rival emerges to challenge the king, but due to his inexperience, he is defeated. In this battle, the king loses both his sons, but it doesn't affect him because he considers them traitors. Meanwhile, a fierce war ensues between the queen and the king's army, during which the queen is gravely injured. The king blames the queen for the deaths of his sons and takes the golden flower from her. In the end, Jay is brought before the king. When the king asks, "I was going to make you the heir, so why did you rebel against me?" Jay replies, "I did this not for the throne, but for my mother." On the other hand, the people of the kingdom start celebrating the festival. The king declares, "I can spare both you and your mother, but you must make her drink the same medicine every day." Hearing this, Jay goes to his mother, apologizes, and decides to commit suicide with a sword, dying instantly. The king is unaffected by Jay's death because he had rebelled against him. But the queen is deeply saddened by witnessing all this. In a fit of rage, she throws the plate of medicine into the air, and the medicine lands directly on the golden flower, setting it ablaze. The golden flower symbolizes keeping the family together. But now, the family has been completely shattered. And with this, the story comes to an end. How did you like the story? Please let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more such interesting videos, and be sure to like and share this video. Thank you.